Yo, what's up, guys? Zeus here back with another video. Quick reminder, if you do love you're watching, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more of me and me content. And I'm a bit late, and by a bit late, I'm 3 days late, but I was at Annie NYC this week, and I went on Saturday, kind of a last minute thing. Met up with Hikaru. I saw some IDV cosplayers and whatnot. For those of you that I saw, said hi, etc. Thank you. It was nice meeting you. I had a blast. And yeah, with that going on, just little announcements. We're gonna be talking about the cueist adjustments. So cueist got a range of buffs and nerfs slash combat adjustments slash bug fixes on the 22nd. I'm reviewing it now because I finally have the time to actually sit down and record it so I can, give my thoughts on it, etc. You guys already know how this goes. So let's start with the biggest thing right here that I'm sure some of you have already been reading on your own while I was yapping. First things first, entropy manipulation. The decoding progress reduction for the cipher machine with the highest progress is decreased from 20% to 15%. So they nerfed his built-in abnormal from 20 to 15. That's pretty fucking huge because that's a overall net 10% decrease from his built-in abnormal, because typically it would reduce the cipher by 40%. Now it's only going to reduce the cipher by 30% over the course of the duration of the zone that he creates. Next up, cue ball. So this thing got both buffed and nerfed, if I recall correctly. Like it got adjusted, like it got balanced out. Like so it does some things better, but it also does some things worse now. Yeah. So increase the kinetic energy consumption rate of the cue ball when moving near a rocket chair occupied by a survivor, and expanded its detection range in open areas and basement. So this is what I mean. So like they nerfed how long it lasts on a rocket chair. I'm pretty sure as of date it only lasts like 3.5 seconds when you put it on a chair. However, in return, it now has a bigger detection range in open areas and basement. And basement is honestly the thing that's really concerning me because I don't know like what's this the range of like definition of near a rocket chair, because you guys think of it like goatman cages, for example. So goatman cages, if they're near a chair, they break in 1 second. If it's not near a chair, it takes you the full 3 seconds to break them. Three and a half. You guys see the gist of it. So I want to know like what is the quote unquote range for it to classify as near a chair, because especially if this is in basement, the way I'm seeing this now is that if you get basement chair, your rescuer is guaranteed double hit. Like, because all that happens is that he sets up the little like pinpoint shits in like literally in the dead center of the staircase, just making an L. The rescuer comes near, he puts down a red cue ball, and then afterwards, assuming it encapsulates the entire like staircase, like the rescuer is not gonna be able to avoid that thing like at all. So it's a guaranteed hit at the top of basement regardless. And then after rescue, it'll be another hit unless like obviously ability usage, etc., etc. But it's gonna be really easy in basement like to get double downs with him specifically if that's working how I think it is. Next up, reduce the animation duration for the cue ball appearing at the target point by zero point 0.1 seconds, and increase the recovery time or the wind up for cueist after releasing the cue ball by zero point 0.2 seconds. So they just sped up some of his animation so he has a faster window to actually act instead of it being so slow. Reduce the time window to transfer a captured survivor from 3.5 to 3 seconds, and decrease the landing animation duration for releasing a transferred survivor by zero point 0.3 seconds. All right. That probably is so that way then you potentially could flywheel out of it if he doesn't swing at it frame one. which is which is fine. Reduce the movement speed of the cue ball. Added a function to manually destroy and cancel the cue ball after release. Oh, he can control and manipulate his cooldowns of the cue ball. Wait, that is huge, actually. That makes him like Anne. The way Anne can just, like, if she messes up her cats or some shit, she can just split them and auto explode them and then force them on cooldown instead of having to wait the full duration. Oh, that's huge. That's genuinely huge for him. Wow. Okay, that's kind of scary. Added a function where if the transfer charge state is active and the landing point is valid, exceeding the maximum transfer timeline will release the survivor at that point. Oh. Oh, so I think that's to counteract bullshit with warp. That's what that is. So they just made it so that way then if the survivor, like, let's say the survivor gets captured and like the cueist, like, you guys, I'm sure you guys have all seen that Twitter clip where like the cueist like grabs the merc and then he goes through his warp and then after that drops the merc all the way at fourth stop. They're doing it so that way they can counteract that, which is kind of funny actually, because now that means like the survivor would get dropped mid warp if it's a valid landing spot. So if you're warping on like a flat surface, let's just say for example Cypher Bridge to the top of Cypher Bridge to the bottom of Cypher Bridge, and you get captured and then he goes through the warp. If 3 seconds pass, I'm assuming that that means that it'll just drop you in the middle of the warp because that flat area counts as a valid landing spot slash release spot for the cue ball. I'm assuming that's what that means if I'm reading that correctly. Next up, inertia. The movement speed bonus after actively leaving the trajectory is reduced from 20% to 18%. Okay, that's a bit of a nuisance, but fine. Maxwell's Demon reduced the charge time from 24 seconds to 20 seconds. Is Maxwell's Demon the like line shit? The thing that's what that thing is, right? Like his line? Cause that's actually pretty big. Because that's a net of like, you have a total of 8 charges. So instead of waiting, what is it, 24 times 8, 160, 192 for a full 8, you're now only waiting 160. So it's like net, like that's a net 32 seconds, like net 32 seconds. That's pretty fucking big. Next up, backspin. At tier 0, the landing action speed after leaving the trajectory is reduced by 0.1 seconds. Okay, so they just made it a smidge faster when he comes out of his in his Sonic the Hedgehog form. And then lastly, balloon carrying. Increase the attack animation duration for the balloon carrying. Yeah, so if you guys didn't know, cueist, for whatever reason, his attack recovery for when he was swinging in the balloons was non-existent, damn near. Okay, I don't like why. Okay, sure. Yeah, the attack duration was literally non-existent. So like he would swing, he would recover for like a half a second, and then he'd be able to swing again. There's no like end lag, nothing. Like it was like just straight swing, 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 swing. Like it could just be repeatedly going at it, man. Now we have experience improvements. Oh my God, so many bugs. Uh, Cue ball added an icon effect when the cue ball captures a survivor. Optimized the model of the cue ball. Closed domain. Added a visual effect indicating when a cipher machine is within the closed domain. Added a visual effect during the charge of a contact point when 3 or 4 unclosed contact points are on the field, indicating that a cipher machine is within the closed domain. Added a prompt for survivors within line of sight to see the duration of the nearest closed domain or contact point. Okay, that's nice. So you can see how long it lasts. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Okay. And then bug fixes. So there were bugs. Fix an issue where survivor captured by cueist cue ball could respond to the priestess ultra long passage. That's hilarious. Issue where little girl could use memory sync on a survivor captured by cue ball. Fixed an issue where the locker animation behaved abnormally when survivor was captured by cueist. Issue when closed domain could not be clicked at the moment the cueist struck the cue ball. Fixed issue where cueist attack hit detection for environmental points was abnormal. Cue ball could capture survivor in down states under certain conditions. Cueist cue ball would abnormally enter cooldown under certain conditions. Yeah, that's fine. So just, yeah, simple bug fixes. Um, all in all, this is probably the most balanced buffs and nerfs they've ever given a character. I'm gonna be honest. I'm actually very surprised that this came out of Netease themselves. Like, I'm very shocked. Like, I'm very surprised that Netease was able to come at this by themselves without having to wait 3 months of him like potentially destroying survivors in rank and even in tournament, like a certain 2 other hunters that came out in recent times. So yeah, I'm very shocked that this just came out of Netease because this is surprisingly good balance adjustments. I'm not gonna lie. They gutted some of his like camping and some of his you know, cipher pressure in exchange for some chase and also some more flexibility on things that he can do. So it's not the worst. Overall, I would say it's still net nerfs because obviously like his two of his main things being the movement speed he gets after leaving his trajectory and then the reduction of the cipher machine is obviously like massive. That's like core aspects of his kist and the cue ball. So it's like overall I would definitely say it is net nerf compared to net buff. But like it's very close. It's like I would say like maybe like 55% nerf, 45% buff, 60% nerf, 40% buff, like somewhere around there. Like it's still relatively close to one another. But I think he's still gonna be really good though. It's just obviously now you're gonna have to work around a lot more stuff. Like now, obviously you're only reducing by 30% instead of 40%, which you're gonna have to get used to. That 2% speed bonus is gonna be like it's gonna be noticeable, but not really to a degree. If you have low ping, it's not gonna be noticeable. Um, this is really good though. The charge points, coming back every 20 seconds instead of every 24. That's really good. That's very good for him at least because, like I said earlier, it's assuming you like waiting for a full stack of 8, it's only a net of 160 that you need to wait, instead of 192, which is very nice. But yeah, I think he's still gonna be good. Obviously he's definitely weaker than he was before, which is okay, sure, whatever. Um. This is still surprising. I'm just like in shock that like Netease came up with this like on their own. Like they actually like, okay, yeah, let's do this, a little bit of this, a little bit. Like I'm very surprised. I'm not gonna lie. I'm very surprised. But yeah, that's gonna be it. Let me know how you guys feel about the cueist adjustments, buffs, nerfs. Let me know if there was anything you wanted to see personally adjusted that they did it. And what do you think how he will perform? I said what do you think? How do you think he will perform post these adjustments? Assuming, yeah, they actually come officially because it still is test server, but hey, you never know. Yeah, there still could be more adjustments to come. With that being said, that's gonna be it. Hope you all enjoyed, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Bye.